was young.
Okay.
I didn't look like this. I mean, but
hey, that's
you're
okay.
like, no, man, you're gonna get killed out there. You're too short. I'm like,
You'll be
whatever.
fine. Just we go to the little leagues. Push.
I started playing Madden and started getting better. Almost made it. Now, what's your football team if you have a football team?
I'm always going for underdogs. So generally, it would be probably the Jets.
Okay.
Because they're the underdog team, and I always like going for underdogs because those are the people I feel that you're really going to try hard, and it's more of a surprise if they actually pull it off.
I'm a diehard Miami Dolphins fan. Through and through. Since 91. Yeah. See? Yeah.
Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins, man.
The last time I heard anything good about the Miami Dolphins was when I think Marino. Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, when they featured.
That was the perfect. That was the quarterback. It was Dan Marino, Ace Ventura, and they were doing really good at that time. I mean, they went to the AFC Championship that year. And
wait a minute, Ace Ventura,
maybe the Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Oh,
and they had the
first
movie.
Was the whole.
That's what you remember the Dolphins from.
Yeah,
that's what I remember.
It was like a perfect. It was a perfect storm of that. They were really good that year. I had a couple friends who were Dolphins. Like I used to be a 49ers fan, like every kid in the 80s, Joe Montana. And then I don't know, it just like it that, and my father's a Jets fan, so it was like one of those things like, oh, my team's your team. I got sucked into the whole thing, and here I am, 26 years later. And, sometimes I regret the choice, but they made the playoffs this year. So that's big.
That's
I haven't made the playoffs in like 8
years. That's so good. That's gonna be like the Knicks next year. Yeah. It's gonna feel like
I'm an underdog guy, kind of, too, because if the Giants aren't in it, then I go to whoever needs it the most.
I guess so.
Always needs it every year. Yeah. Cleveland. They're getting
Cleveland who? I'm thinking basketball. I'm like Cleveland.
The Browns.
They just won. No, they didn't.
No, they
almost won.
No, they did not win. They are getting Geno Smith's going to the Giants.
What? They could have won. They could have won that. Yeah, the Cleveland Browns could have won. But.
Okay, so from this conversation.
Sorry, just to interject. Please put your tokens either down or in your pocket. I had one player accidentally.
Got you.
Like fling them?
Yeah.
In my pocket.
I'll put mine over here.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
In my pockets.
Just put it.
So,
siblings?
Siblings?
Siblings.
One. I barely sibble.
One child.
Got you.
Barely see the sibble.
The only child. They didn't want another one.
That's what happens when you get older.
I was there.
Yeah? I got about 9.
Move away.
About like 8 or 9 siblings.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. You like think?
What do you mean 8 or 9?
The 8 or 9 is the 9th one I don't talk to. We don't talk to. We don't really know too much about him or her.
Oh,
for that matter. It's one of those situations. But I do know of 8 for sure.
Okay. Are you close with any of them?
7 of them.
Wow. It's a big family.
Mm-hmm.
Are you like where are you in the
middle
order?
Middle.
The middle?
Yeah, I'm that. I guess you would call that person that kind of.
So that's like what, 4?
I'm that transition from adults to like younger adults.
That would explain why you do acting, because it's like always the middle child.
I guess.
No one wants the attention.
I guess.
Did you always want to try to make yourself like the center of attention?
You know what? Growing up, I think I actually did. I didn't mind acting like a fool or be a jokester or anything like that. I used to go to my friend's house all the time, and we would just kind of just act stupid. And at the time, I didn't even want to be an actor. I definitely did not want to be an actor. I thought it was a foolish thing, which is kind of funny.
What drew you to acting?
It's kind of hard to. I don't know.
All right, let me make it easy. What do you love about it?
Everything. It's the idea of one. It's not as easy as saying, "Oh, I want to be in someone else's shoes." I do enjoy disappearing into the character and learning the truth of the character and what a story is all about. But I also like the idea of something being so good and genuine that whoever the audience is watching the product, you kind of relieve their problems for that amount of time, or you give them some clarity to a problem or something like that. And I think the helpful nature of theater and art and how strong it is.
Really, you don't find things when you're exploring in your character.
Well, of course,
find things about yourself that you like or you don't like.
Of course.
You ever run into a stumbling block?
A stumbling block in terms of like, I can't get past this.
Right.
Yeah, I would say so because I mean, for example, people have this thing in the industry where, well, maybe not everybody, some people feel like when you cry, oh, that means talent. Mm-hmm. Cry on cue, you know. Command, right? And the thing about it is, in the beginning, I used to really worry about, you know, I can't cry on cue, but it's really not about that. Although there should be some tears here and there when it makes sense. From time to time, it's struggled to get to that place where I can, you know, do that. But I have to find the truth in order to cry. You get what I'm saying? So it can't be something, it really has to feel truthful to me. I can't just be like upset in the tear.
Okay, now you're tearing. Now you're crying.
That will not work. I have to put myself in a situation mentally to even feel something that would make it remorseful.
A good director could bring that out.
Well, of course, I agree, because they know how to talk to people. Some people would be like, I need you to cry. Good job. That's it.
Right. This is the part you cry.
And then they walk away from you and what?
I've seen directors
you got 5 minutes.
Verbally demean some of their actors and like bringing them on the side and be like, listen, if you don't do this, you're a shit. You're this and that and everything. It's like, you know,
I guess that's
we were told that or like give basically like demoralizing them and saying that, you know, oh well, you know, we started watching daily. Like one time we did something, we were like, listen, we were watching the dailies, man. It don't look good, dude. Like honestly, like
this is
where like this is one of the things where this scene you have to convince everybody standing over here that like you can pull this off, right? Because if you don't,
yeah,
you know,
I mean, most people's mistakes is that they don't realize it's in the eyes. Everything is in the eyes.
It is, but it's tough to go there too. Like you gotta bring somebody to that real like low emotional point, and that's not easy to do, especially when there's 30 people around and there's a catering table and you know like that's a
in the background.
It's just like with everything. I mean, even like with sitting here, like I have lights and stuff, and you know, having a conversation. It's like at the same time I'm like, it's like, oh yeah, I'm on a game show.
You ever experienced that yourself as not the director, but
as an actor?
Yeah, someone demoralizing you.
I mean, not really. Like, you know, like I've obviously had criticism and stuff, and people say, oh, you know, I don't like this or this thing sucks. So I'm like, okay. You know, the only answer I always have to that is, if you have not been in my shoes, how can you put yourself in that position to give me that kind of opinion? You know, if you're just a moviegoer person, if you're somebody that's, you know, watching the product and you like something you don't like, so that's consumer choice.
I guess.
You know, and I'm cool with people liking and disliking stuff, but like,
yeah, you got to realize that not everyone's going to like something.
Well, right, exactly. Like, I don't take that seriously.
It's a very subjective art.
It would be this. If Steven Spielberg came up to me and told me that, you know, what I'm doing is not good, I probably would cry.
Yeah, but he wouldn't do that.
And I'd beg for his, and I would beg for his forgiveness. I'd be like, please just give me one more chance.
You sacrifice a goat or something.
Right? There was a method that Sidney Lumet used to use he did it with Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
And he verbally beat the hell out of her for one of the movies, one of the most famous, her last movie. And it took a while, and then she had to go back and she was right there.